Watch CIA agent breaks silence and blows the whistle to reveal Obama's real identity. Donald Trump's presidency so far has shone a light on the White House's war with the deep state. One former member of the intelligence community has spilled the beans about the Obama administration's cooperation with the deep state. Former CIA analyst and retired U.S. Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer told Fox News back in February that the Obama administration was behind the public leaks of Lieutenant General Michael Flynn's phone calls with Russian officials. According to Mr. Shaffer, the blame belongs at the feet of John Brennan and James Clapper. These two former CIA chiefs have long been suspected of running counterintelligence operations against the Trump administration. Although Brennan publicly spoke out against the empire of leaks that have been damaging the Trump administration, many in the alternative media suspect that he is one of the ringleaders of the Obama-era holdovers who has undermined President Trump. In particular, one conservative news outlet accused Brennan of collaborating with British and Estonian intelligence agents in order to smear Donald Trump as a quasi-Russian agent. Brennan, who supported the American Communist Party during the Cold War, also had some surprising links to radical Islam. One former CIA agent who served with Brennan in Saudi Arabia accused him of converting to Islam. It is widely known that there is a top intelligence official in the Obama administration CIA who has converted to Islam. Yes, it was reported in none other than the Washington Post in 2012. Why couldn't it be Brennan? The movie Zero Dark 30 about the killing of Osama bin Laden, for which the movie makers gained access to classified material. The Obama administration was criticized for making it available to them, featured a top counter-terror official who strongly resembled Brennan and was shown performing Muslim prayers. As for Clapper, he has tried to defend the leaking of unclassified documents by declaring that unclassified is not leaking. Clapper also told Congress that he had seen Flynn and other Trump administration communications before they were leaked to the press. There is a possibility that both Clapper and Brennan were connected to Susan Rice, the former national security advisor to President Obama, who is suspected of using her security clearance to spy on President-elect Donald Trump and his inner circle. Obama administration officials have been implicated in leaking and undermining the Trump administration. Do you think Brennan and Clapper were involved? Yes. Not surprisingly, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, who himself has been accused of being a globalist mole within the Trump White House, was the man responsible for letting Rice keep her security clearance, thereby clearing her of most espionage charges. Lieutenant Colonel Shaffer is definitely correct that Lieutenant General Flynn was set up and burned in effigy by the mainstream press and the deep state. When the media got Flynn's scalp, it set up a bad precedent. Since then, many President Trump's leading Make America Great Again officials have left Washington, D.C. The leaking war against General Flynn directly led to the resignation of Steve Bannon and Dr. Sebastian Gorka. This is why President Trump should stop internal leaking from the deep state right now. Let's take, this is an old clip of Colonel Tony Shaffer.
Defense intelligence officer, he's retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. Colonel, you know, there have been leaks about phone calls between the president and leaders of Australia and Mexico, as well as the investigation into the Russian alleged interference in the hacks into the DNC.
Right.
Are leaks by Obama officials the problem?
Absolutely, and I put this right at the feet of John Brennan and Jim Clapper, and I would even go so far as say the White House was directly involved before they left. I put this in the form of Ben Rhodes and those folks. Let's be clear on this. I've watched this very carefully, the coverage, and when you have NBC reporting that they've talked to 6 officials who have seen the transcript, someone is basically giving away both sensitive methods, the fact that they read a communication that was intercepted by sensitive methods, and more importantly, that they're saying that they saw this information which was beyond top secret, which tells me that clearly someone had to have access to that, and that is a key issue. Who leaked that information? And most importantly here, to Dennis's point and to Laura's point, is that the implication made by these officials to NBC and other outlets was that there was something sinister in it, which I agree with Sean Spicer. I don't believe for a minute that there was anything in there that was illegal. Mike Flynn's a pretty smart guy. He knows his phone calls are probably going to be intercepted or reviewed at some point. I'm sure he talked about sanctions, but not in the way that it was portrayed by the left. So I do believe
the sanctions came about again because of the Obama administration putting them in place over the findings by the intelligence community that it was Russia that hacked into the DNC. We have Democrat Representative Adam Schiff. He's a ranking member in House Intelligence. He said it was yes, the leak that brought Flynn down, not his lie. In other words, if it wasn't leaked, no one would know about this mess, and he was talking about sanctions with Russia. What do you make of that?
Well, look, the way I see this is the bottom line is the White House would have to find out what Mike Flynn did or did not say. Let's remember that this is an issue apparently between the Vice President and Mike Flynn. And let's remember that when a White House is settling in, you're going to have a lot of personality conflicts pop up. Maybe there's something here we're missing on that.
Yeah, but Mike Flynn also works for the American people, and it's the geopolitical issues at stake with Russia and the war on terror.
And I read his resignation, and yes, he was during that period of December when this all happened, calling all the world leaders that he was going to have to be dealing with. So I don't believe for a minute this was a Logan Act violation. I believe this was one thing that was said. Hey, when we roll in, when we're in charge, this will all be revisited.
Yeah,
That's it.
Colonel,
and he has the right to say that.
I mean, let's be clear. I mean, President Obama said to Medvedev, I can be more flexible when I'm president. I get it. But again, this is in the context of a potential crime of the Russia hacking into the DNC. And now, to your point, would you support a bipartisan push about Republicans and Democrats demanding an independent probe into Flynn? Do you support that? Because we've got top Republican support like Roy Blunt and Bob Corker and Lindsey Graham. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, because the fingers that they're going to be finding are pointing back at the former White House and some Democrats. The Democrats have been behind this, and I would go so far to say some of the Republicans have also been involved in some of the leaks. So bring it on. I think it's a good idea, and I think like we saw in the Detroit recount when they were recounting Michigan's votes, turned out to be voter fraud in all these Democrat precincts. I think it's what we're going to find here, so go right ahead.
Colonel Tony Shaffer, always good to have you. Thank you, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Absolutely, I agree with him 100%. He was right on point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.